we go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again. We have beloved Shan and Joyvive and Kristen here already, sending you friends so many blessings. It is Wednesday, my dudes. So it's dance day. Day of dance to be danced. Today's whole topic is about knowing or not knowing. So I have She Knows by Elephants. Nobody Knows as an artist, and then Who Knows as an artist as well. So, yeah, let's see if we figure out what we're supposed to know. Hey, Duck Dad, blessings to you too. Let's dance, shall we? Gateway.
I'll wait. This I'll wait. This the light fit shines right from your eyes. I like it. I feel it. I like it. I feel it. I like it. I feel it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a second. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a second. I'm waiting. I'll wait. This I'll wait. This the light that shines right from your eyes. I like it. I feel you. I'll wait. This waiting for someone, the light that shines right from your eyes. 'Cause I can be much better than you knew from a long, long time ago. And like you, I feel you. I'm struggling with the feeling that you'll be around. And I hope that this time is for real. I'll wait. This I'm waiting with summer, the light that shines right from your eyes. 'Cause I can be much better than you knew from a long, long time ago. I like you, I feel you. I'm struggling with the feeling that you'll be around. And I hope that this time is for real. Don't want to leave, just trying to remember. That someday she might be around. You got to know that I will dominate you. She's so hard to satisfy. And I know, and you know, and she knows that my love won't fade away. Don't wanna live just trying to remember. That someday she might be around.
Yeah. Uncle Bakey's here. Yes, Haywire healed himself. Giovanna's here too. Maxine as well. Kelly. Sam. Gateway. I'm dancing too. Thank you. That wasn't exactly the most danceable track, I'll admit. But still not horrible. He keeps taking my scarf from me. Very flowy track. But almost too much flow for me to have a proper beat variation to dance on. I see straight people not liking it. Wearing birthday box bands, I am. Bring this closer. This pair of pants was gifted to me by Joy. Yeah. Thank you, Joy. Yeah, I just basically searched the word no into my playlist, and I lined those tracks up for what I was gonna dance to. Back again. Was just gonna for a moment. Let's go. Okay, fine. I agree. These are definitely not the best tracks on my playlist. I feel like my mind is so full of its own nonsense right now. To know or not to know, right? I feel like I'm significantly more rooted in not knowing right now. Work for today off for the next several weeks. Work for today, off for the next several. Blessing. That's it. Duck Dad's body don't like coconut water. I was clearly never an island. Island boys. I'm gonna internet, please. Mosquito. This is a Neelix track. Let's skip to the drop. See if it's any good. Hey, freaks. This track's called Nobody. Nobody. Yeah, one more. Do you like aloe? I do. I like the jelly and the liquid. Me too, actually. I mean, like the type of hilarity where you like kind of like laugh at people, maybe. Right? I don't know if they're actually trying, and I feel like that's the part that makes it kind of not okay to laugh at them. End of me, the end of me. I know, I know, I know. Recklessly. Go, 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 oh. Nobody like you, nobody, nobody, nobody like you, nobody, nobody like you, nobody, you take my heart so recklessly, yeah, it's hard to let you go, 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 you got me, 'cause when I sleep, I hear your voice. You keep me falling so helplessly. Yeah, you just start bringing me to my knees. Oh. That's it for today, folks. Hey, Shell. Hey, Chopin. Let me go get my stuffs while I catch my breath. Actually, let me put my sandals back on. Feet bleeding check. Yep, my feet are bleeding. Yes, I did. Nancy, nice to see your name as well, dear friend. I shall have put my things down. Get myself a cushion. Get myself a nightstand. Put all of the things in their respective places. Thank you. Zano's here too. Blessings to Zano. Zanana. No. Okay. Almost set up. Oh, all right then. Welcome, dear friends. I thanketh you for joining me once again on another conscious evolution. Today's whole stream topic is going to be a topic as age as time, as old as time. To know or not to know, right? Shakespeare was going into to be or not to be, but I feel that's kind of silly because we already are, right? But you can be or not be while simultaneously not knowing, right? And I feel the joke of not knowing is there is more to not know than there is to know. So by knowing nothing, you know more of the everything than you know if you think you know something, right? And I've been stuck in that loop of not knowing, of uncertainty, and especially that of expectation, right? That it's, oopsie, it's one thing, no please, it's one thing to not know, right? To have that uncertainty, but I feel it's a whole other thing to kind of expect other people to be okay with you not knowing when your knowing or not knowing affects their lives, kind of vibe, right? To know or not to know, that is the real question, right? Surely all of us would like to know, but I don't know if it's that easy, unfortunately. Just as simple as just knowing. Let me open the stream. I smell dog poop. And it's assaulting my senses. I don't want to be assaulted by dog poop smells. Hey Zano, again, lovins to you. Let me see if I can catch up. One of the last comments I could see is, yeah, Mel wearing his birthday box pants. I am. Silly popper. It's what Dixie does during yoga. Like Pippi was especially accurate today. She caught my scarf more times than I would have wanted her to. I even brought some Mary Joannas today to kind of really melt into this not knowing thing. Oh, I didn't bring a pen to write intentions. I'm back in a second. Excuse me once again. Somebody, I got this. To know or not to know. kind of like brutalizes my mind a little bit. Mexican coconut water for me too. I haven't had Mexican coconut water, to be honest. Can't hate them. They're all cute little fellas trying hard. Coconut. Never eaten aloe. I haven't eaten aloe, but I have put it on my face. Mix coconut and aloe, and you've got a moisturizer that'll love you back. There we go. They know not what they do. This song is fire. I'm happy that you liked it. I was, I feel very, I feel feel very unstable right now, to say the least. Right, and that instability is making me feel like I don't know anything, and that feeling of not knowing anything makes it hard for me to dance. So I'm gonna put no, no on the one side, and then I'm gonna put unknown on the other side. Right, realizing these things do exist in perfect duality. To know and to cannot know. No, unknown. Is Jajaju, Jajumpin' Jajams here with us? He is. Blessings. I have said hi to Shell. Again, love to all of you friends. Such a blessing. My senses are not having a good time with all of this freaking dog poop around me. Like I'm gonna move. Hopefully I can find a spot that has less dog poop. Because the dogs are lazy. All right, they don't want to run out far on the yard. They want to poop right where they stand. Run back into the home directly afterwards. I'll bring this one. All right, this one. Yeah. I putteth you down on the ground. And have some nature views while I'm reading the rest of the stuff. Of course, I picked the spot. Like, at this point, I'm pretty sure I do it on purpose, just to get a little bit fire in my razor. I see we're talking about sunburn. Perfect. Very on cue. I look like a total psycho taking a shot of yellow mustard at work. Uncle Becky told me to, and I'm here for it. Like actual mustard? Like you actually drink the mustard? Hey Google, does mustard have health benefits? Mustard have a lot of protein, fiber, vitamin C, many of the vitamins in the B complex group. Mustard is good for your health in many ways. It can help with muscle pain, ringworm, and breathing problems, and it can also be used to treat cancer and diabetes. Yeah, I would probably be one of the people who look at you like you're a psycho if I see you drinking mustard. And then I would go and find out, like, am I the insane one, or does that dude actually have some merit? Mustard is satanic. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I like a bit of mustard as much as the next person. I just don't drink it by the cup. Like, cups full of mustard is where I draw my line. Just offer some lime, it's normal. Too soon, but it's softening up. Love is true. I feel like I'm missing some context probably, but you friends will catch me up if I'm missing anything. I'm watering plants as the cloud roll in because I don't trust in nature. The storms are actually coming. A true a true Midwest gardening practice. Sounds hilarious, actually. I mean, it's supposed to be winter right now, technically. right? Like this is supposed to be like the height of winter, and I'm sitting here with a shirt on at 4 p.m., almost 5 p.m., when it's supposed to get colder, right? It probably will get colder as the sun sets, but yeah, the weather hasn't been what it used to be. All right, climate change being very much on our doorstep at this point. We never really know, do we? Once we claim we know, we stop learning. Oh yeah, I feel like that's kind of the part of myself that I have to start accepting, Jovan. Like I really like knowing, right? I pride myself in knowing, in fact, but I realize that I don't, at least not as much as I would like to. Did I lose my Garrick? Am I gonna have to mission back and forth to find it? No, found it again. Thank you. Arthur, joining us again. What a blessing. Nice seeing you, dear friend. Today I'm gonna smoke a joint on stream. It has fallen out of favor a little bit. You know, we don't do that a lot anymore. But I feel like today's stream topic kind of calls for a little bit more information. I feel like asking for more information about the unknown is only going to guarantee I know less, you know. But I feel like that's the point. It's embracing that not know mind, right? Embrace the not know mind. That's the best mindset you can find yourself in. And I believe that's Stoic philosophy, even, right? Straight up, you know, emperors. Good old Marcus Aurelius was trying to apply the not know mind as well. I have to put the garbage out. I'm happy that you're doing that, Nancy. Taking care of the home. All right. Even though those things might seem small, we know that they affect us nonetheless. My flex is how much I don't need, right? Weirdly enough, brother Brandon, Uncle Becky, that's also the thing that I'm worried about, right? The duality of that fractal, of realizing I need less of certain things and I need more of others. My type of guy. Thank you, Arthur. Love to you too, dear friend. Like and I also know that I sometimes need more. I'm gonna write more on the inside. More. Melt more. Right? But is it appropriate for us to expect our loved ones or the people that we invite into our lives to kind of accept the same kind of fractal? That's like a part of the not know that I'm talking about today, Uncle Becky. Is that it's all fair and good that we don't need as much as the next person when it comes to the things that people have convinced themselves is important. But that doesn't mean those things aren't important to them, right? It's still just as important. It just might not be as important to us. Or the other way around. Something might be very important to us, and it might not be as important to the next person, you know, that we choose to love. And I feel that is a thing that I don't know how to handle necessarily. I'm trying to learn though, little by little, day by day, moment by moment, getting better. A guy in California told me once, Mahoma do, cause you never ever know. Mahoma. Mahoma do, Mahoma do. Mahoma do, cause you never know. I don't know. I guess that's the point, maybe, right? Maybe I'm not supposed to know. I'll never know what Mahoma do means, for example. I accept. I accept the not know mind. Mel, this reminds me of Zen beginner's mind. Lack of preconceptions and opposite of being close minded. Exactly. Exactly, Nancy. Like, I feel, you know, all of these concepts are as old as time, the stuff we tend to talk about in these streams. But that's the point, right? Is that we have been on this conscious evolution process since the start of time, and there's no escaping it. That's just reminding ourselves of the things we already know, right? Like today, reminding ourselves that we know nothing. We know nothing, nothing, nothing. In the grand scheme of things, nothing. Like zero, closer to zero than to one, technically. Right? And that's kind of a hard fractal to accept sometimes. How are we supposed to? On something that I do know, uh, remember that fractal we communicated on Joy V's gift day? Dad actually apologized. He came to me and he apologized. And yeah, I'm happy about that. And I wanted to share that with you friends as well so that you may know. I love my dad. I really do. And it's hard to not know why things aren't perfect sometimes, right? It's hard to feel like we don't know how to make things better, but things are getting better slowly but surely. I hate taking the garbage out. Don't worry, Joyviv. In the next decade or so, you'll have a robot to do it for you, right? I learned today that there's an extra Q. There's IQ, there's EQ, and then there's WQ. You're like, what? I've heard about the emotional side or how good you are with people, and I've heard about the intelligence side or how good you are with concepts and ideas, but I've never heard about the W side, which is willpower, which is your ability to actually will for yourself a reality, right? The lower WQ you have, the more likely you are to follow someone else's lead or to potentially be manipulated into a state of being that you might not have chosen for yourself. And I've been thinking about that. WQ. How much WQ do I have? Can I get more of it? All right. And then I was like thinking about robots where they might have high IQ, potential EQ, but they might have zero WQ. And that is a good thing, at least to our ego consciousnesses, right? Like we don't really want our home butler, if we have robot home butlers, to suddenly have a will of their own. Maybe we do, right? But I feel like it's going to be a whole nother paradigm shift. Like, unfortunately, there's like two options. That's the real facts. There's like two options, right? Either we integrate, we become a part of the next generation of humanity, right? Which is in part artificial intelligence, or they transcend us, right? To the point of us being like ants to them, ants, slaves, whatever word you want to use. So yeah, maybe we should figure out how to equality on planet Earth with actual human beings first, right? Like actually encourage people to have a little bit more WQ, right? A will to see things become better. My joint is basically rolled, known and unknown. Hey, is that Who Needs Steers that I saw for a second? Blessings to you too, friend. I'm having a hard time catching up with comments, but I am here in the moment with you, friends. Is John here as well? Jammy John, the man who covers in pajamas. This joint is for the known and the unknown. All I know in this moment is that I love you, all right? Even though how much love that means to you, how much of you I'm loving right now, how many of you in the future that might be hearing this message gets to hear this love, that's all unknown to me. What I do know is love is true, and I love you. And you're like, you don't even know me, Mel. I don't need to know you to say I love you, right? That's the joke. That's what makes it so beautiful. The I that I am loves the you that you identify as. A checkmate. Yeah, I love you. There we go. Thank you, Uncle Becky. Triple four showing. So many blessings. Love is true. Known and unknown. Yeah, it's starting to do things. It's touching my neurons. Oh, touching me! She's touching me! Instantly, Stitch comes back to me. of them holding the finger out. He's touching me because technically that's what happens with neurochemicals as well. They're not actually touching, right? They're just basically taking up spaces, and taking up those spaces has a cascading effect on other neurons and other biological processes. Man being a human being is quite interesting, right? Again, with the known and the unknown, the fact that there are trillions of living organisms, right, going down to single cells, doing their jobs, right, processing information, eating fuel, creating a little bit of heat, producing chemicals, so that you can sit here and have this stable moment right now. Isn't that absurd? Right? And then we think we know who we are. For example, do I know who I am? I know I'm a loving being. I know I'm here to love, right? But the joke is, even though that remains stable, unchanged, everything else around it changes, right? The things I end up loving, the reasons I love things, the depth with which I love, the reasons continually changing. It's kind of absurd, you know, and I wonder, I really do, how much of it is chemistry, how much of it is spirituality, how much of it is my biology, how much of it is instinct, how much of it is my genes coding for me to be one way or another, right? And a part of myself feels like the more I think about it, the less responsible I get. And then the other part of myself realizes the more I know, the more responsibility I take. Right. And it's a weird duality. Like I feel I've been trying to find balance as of late. And I feel there is this one critical flaw inside my programming right now. And it's the amount I expect versus the amount I want to be expected of. And it makes me feel evil. Right? In this question of who am I do not want that answer to be I am evil. Right? Partly because I don't believe it's true, fortunately, but also partly because I don't want to give myself a reason to even come to that conclusion. Right? Am I evil for expecting more than I want maybe an individual to expect of me? Right? And then realizing the more I expect, especially in this context, the more fractals I open up, right? The more connections that end up being made, adding a disproportional amount of expectation potentially, right? For instance, if every single person I come into contact with expects of me the same amount I expect of them, I'll be dead by the end of the day kind of vibe, right? As a joke, as like a conceptualization, right? And then at the same time, I realize, and I have a whole stream topic about it that I don't think we've talked in depth about just yet, but the best way to have a good time when communicating, connecting with other beings is to expect nothing, right? To actually expect nothing. And that goes down to how you would like them to react to you, right? What you would like them to say, for example, especially so when we share things very important to us or very close to our hearts or something we've been working on for a long time. And it's a hard one. It's a hard one to let go of, right? We want people to react with the same amount of enthusiasm we have for the thing that we have been creating. But they do not have all of the context. They do not have all of the story. They do not have all of that depth to connect in the same way that you might be able to. I like how I was talking smack about it not being cold like a few moments ago, and now I'm thinking about blankets. let's let's read some comments. Oh, maybe I should do some stretches, heat myself up while I'm waiting for the comments to load. Any second now. Close it and open it back up again. There we go. Triple four showing. Love again. All is well. After setting out to financial freedom 5 years ago, I'm down to only my sub 1K mortgage. Woo! Planning my next way of sustainability. Bro, I've been thinking about you a lot, Uncle Becky, especially your idea to have like an interactable farm, right? Like having, different Arduinos and basically gates to open like little feeders, measured out systems, and people can live stream that experience. I'm still sold, oh, and I know you're still sold on that as well. I can feel Uncle Becky being like, "Yeah, Mel, please, oh, I know, dude, it's just so much fucking work." I get it, Uncle Becky, but know that I'm right here in the same moment, manifesting that reality with you, dude. It's not impossible. It's just a matter of time, right? And you're already manifesting the things that you're supposed to get to that point. I see you, bro. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. Josh Mo sending lovins. Coffee. Likes my coffee like I like my women. Cold and dark. Cold and dark. I mean, you might be into Joy Vive. Josh Mo. In a pack small, in a pack sack on the back of a mule, an old man told me once. I was like, whoa. Like, whoa. Planning my next way to sustainability. No, I'm missing context. My flex is how much I don't need. Maybe that's the one. Yeah. Made it. Picked up the dog before they got here. Love is true. Mel's dad said sorry. He did. Celebrating dad. Ooh, ooh. Dad be cool. Ooh, ooh, I love him. I appreciated it. The relationship has been platonic. I feel is technically the right word, right? Like I'm like just asking. I'm just asking questions. Asking questions, asking questions. There's no conversation being had technically, but I'm asking questions, right? I'm following the rules of conversation, and I'm okay with it just being that, right? Like I am happy if it's only that for now. Uh, Good for Papa Melt. He's not all the way gone. Love is true indeed. The health is over. That's real facts. Love is true. Hey again, John. Sounds like I had a history of high EQ, medium IQ, and low WQ apparently. And there's no shame in that, right, Jovan? I feel your high EQ makes you the person that you are, right? For instance, and this is not me again analyzing slash compartmentalizing, and it might not be healthy to do that. So listen to me like I'm telling you about a dream or whatever. But the fact that there has already been a system set in place, right? I don't know exactly what the facility is called, but the animal care center that you volunteer at, right? You being that mix of high EQ, potentially low WQ, right? And I'm doing this potentially low because I don't believe that. I mean, I believe you still had the amount of will coefficient to actually put yourself out there and go and do things, right? Nobody had to come to you and be like, hey, Chauvin, have you considered taking care of animals? Right? Nobody had to do that. That was all you, right? And your EQ allowed for that will to arise in you. But because there was already an established place where people was already offering that service technically to the world, you could slot into that fractal, right? Not having to start a whole center by yourself, needing the finances, needing the cages, needing the staff to feed the animals. Like exact, like I can feel you're you're doing well. WQ can be used no matter what it is, right? Like if you know that you might have a lower self will to like establish something, following a fractal that you actually agree with is like adding resources to the tree, right? And you can still facilitate growth into the world, even if you don't want to do something particularly spectacular for yourself, right? Not everybody has grandiose dreams. Like you might have the dream of being able to be 50 and fish, right? While you take care of your grandkids or your kids, right? That might be your dream. And it might not be glamorous, right, by societal standards, but that doesn't matter, right? Because it's your dream. And you get to live that will Even if some people, right? For instance, like a person who ends up pushing themselves to an extreme where they want to become a billionaire, they might rank higher on the WQ scale, but are they happier? You know, like they're living their lives, they're getting to live the fractal that they created for themselves with the choices that they made, and so do you, so do all of us. And then there is the fractal of knowing versus not knowing, right? You don't know how your life is going to turn out, but you know what makes you happy in this moment, right? And you know that there are certain things that you can do to ensure that you get to be more happier in the future, right? Sure, the future is unknown. Like you can exercise today and, take care of your body, sleep well, and then get hit by a bus tomorrow. That's also possible. But at least, you won't be out of breath. It's like I'm trying to like connect this fractal in a way that is actually going to create some calm. The point I'm trying to make is that we don't know what the future holds. We do, however, know what's good for us. Right? Like these things have been long established. And service, taking care of our people around us, is one of the biggest ones. It makes us feel good, right? And you don't need high WQ for that, essentially. So good to see your face, Melty. Love you. Who needs tears? Joe, I spent about a half an hour yesterday working with just silence. About 25 minutes this morning on my dog. Bro, I'm proud of you, Duck Dad. I'm so happy that you're doing that for yourself. How's it been feeling? Right? Have you already noticed the benefits? It's like, no, Mel. I just felt mildly anxious and like I was longing to get doing. And I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's working. You're supposed to feel that way because you've been avoiding that feeling your whole life. There is also QED, which means if it's proven. Qued? Qued. Probably not for showing it. Love true. I'm gonna hit a pipe as well. First in more than a week to celebrate with Melty. Love is true, dude. Embracing the unknown. I feel like the the weed is doing something, right? I feel in a state of flow, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Mary Jane. I do believe intention is important to stuff like that, right? Like if I didn't set a proper intention, I don't think it would be as beneficial for me right now. So it's giving me a sense of hope. Yeah, it's okay for me to not know anything. So it's okay for me to be stupid, right? I believe the same thing about myself, Jovan, but I feel mine is more high WQ, medium EQ, low IQ kind of vibe, right? Like I think my IQ is high enough, right? It's probably above average. I'll concede to that, but I'm definitely no Einstein, right? I'm not running complex arithmetic in my brain, right? I don't go to sleep with keys in my hands so that when I actually dip out of consciousness, the keys drop into a plate and I wake back up so I can stay in that liminal state so I can solve equations 6 times faster than normal consciousness. That's not me, right? That's not what I'm doing. But I do believe that my ability to will myself to do things is almost, high to an aggressive level. it's like it's high to an aggressive level because whatever it is, it has control over my physiology, right? It's like, oh yeah, you don't want to do something? Here, have some cortisol, have some stress, have some all of these bad feelings. How about you trip yourself out? How about that? You don't want to do what you're supposed to do, yeah. How about you feel bad about it instead? Oh goodness. It's like I'm both the stick and the carrot, right, to the consciousness. And if the carrot isn't given, the stick is instantly used. The irony of me having small stick. I'm still looking forward to the day I can turn this stick into like a little robotic puppet where if I press this button, its little mouth opens up and closes. And then I can do like a whole bit where I look with this little face at myself. Should I have it as my own face? No, no. Should be my own face. It should it should be like a metamorphosis of my own face, like a cartoonified little devil looking version of myself. I'm showing myself smiling like a little insane person, right? Maybe I'll give him little horns every single time I have a little inner voice. It's like, you can already see that. Yeah. Right? I might not have the technology to do it live right now, but you do inside of your imagination. And we can tap into that stuff as well. I love you, friends. Thank you for thank you for going through this fractal with me. I love you and you should too. Yes, taking a dive with your friends. Love is true. Melty's wearing my hug. I am. I have like double gift, on today. My pants is Joy Vive's hug, and my scarf is Maxine's hug. True blessings. I literally being clothed by you, friends. Like actually, like the literal clothes on my bodies came from your friends' resources and hands. You guys help me get excited for my day. The power you friends have in your life is palpable. Love is true. Right? We are but mirrors. Right? I feel like it's a reflecting thing. Like all of us are like coming into this space and like putting our mirrors, and then that light, just echoes. And then we get to take all of that with us and we get to project into the outside world again. He sleeps in your shirt to protect him from the night demons, Beansy. Yeah, I actually have two shirts that I associated with Maxine. One of them I bought in China that has like little tigers on it, a bunch of little tigers. And then, of course, the big tiger face. Back to work. Love you, brother. Becky. We'll see you again soon, dude. I'm watching and supporting today's cover. You were first. Nice. I don't think I've even seen your cover for today. Blessings. Follow your day. So much love. Today is a good day. Yes. Melty, I was thinking of messaging you yesterday. The universe decided I needed to do shadow work. Mm. And I felt horrible about it. I know who I am, but these human summations make me second guess. Yeah. I guess we've been working together, Maxine. Unfortunately, I believe in stuff like quantum entanglement as well, right? And alongside the fact that we're coming together and melting more, sharing the light, right, in a fractal, and then going out into the world, even though we might not be in a conceptualized circle anymore, the circle can't be broken, right? So I feel like we have quantumly entangled ourselves with one another in a way where we end up feeling things together, all right? And that can be a bad thing if you're scared of feeling, or it can be a good thing if you realize the point of this experience is feeling, right? And we're gonna feel the whole spectrum, right? All the way from the worstity worst to the bestie best, right? And it's always gonna be an ebb and flow, right? We might not know where we are on that flow right now, but we can know that it is going to be a flow, right? An ebb and a flow. One of the quotes that I wanted to write a song about is "Life is a sine wave." Maybe John like writes songs like an absolute machine. There you go, John. You can have them one for free. Life is a sine wave, dude. Okay, let me continue reading. Dude, straight up. I'm super sick about it, Joe. I'm in government job. Takes you to unwrap. Mm. Indeed. I feel like I'm missing context. Love is true nonetheless. Oh well, unpacking. That much be intense, Joe. I pulled a squid creature off my face during meditation the other day. That junk was opening. Like a conceptualized squid? I'm guessing. I'm guessing like metaphysical squid that you had to pull off your face. It was like a decade of suffocating and hard breathing was lifted. I almost immediately gained eyesight, and muffled sounds became clearer. Taking that breath with you, dude. Yassi. Release the Kraken. Like, this is a weird fractal Joy Vive, but I happen to have recently watched something Teenage Kraken. I'm embarrassed to say it. I'm not embarrassed to say that it was actually good. I enjoyed it. Oh man, yeah. Release the Kraken, Don't don't ignore the call. essentially, right? That's the lesson I received from that movie. Is Kraken always honors the call, right? Do what you're supposed to do, kind of vibe. Always, always. I heard about that jumping, unpacking. That must be intense. Beansy, I was going to message you and tell you about it, but I'm still just basking in the relief. Soak it up, jumping. You're in the receiving mode. Talking about, I receive a little companion. A little papriki papriki. Oh, I love my little papriki booster. Little kitty is being jelly. Eva is being, Pippi is being jelly. Let's being jelly about kitty. She be a kitty, kitty. Okay, I wanted to show you kitty, but she's already leaving. She's like, okay, then I'll respect your boundaries. Uh 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 uh. Ba-da-da-da. I'm quite warm, thank you. Love is true. I gotta do my therapy appointment, unfortunately. I love you. Thank you for being you. We love you too, Maxine. We'll be holding space for you. Enjoy your therapy. See you laughing. Have a good session. Have a nice appointment. So much love. At 50, I better not have any damn grandkids. I mean, yeah. I was like instantly correcting. I was like, or kids. I mean, I have a 50s. I did say 50s, right? You can start having grandkids in your late 50s. You had your kid a little bit later, though, right? Like, my dad is 52, 53 right now. He's turning 53, right? And I'm guessing he would probably want grandkids before he's out of his 50s, which is not going to come from me. Maybe Rida. Maybe Rida. Vessel potentially as well. Within the next 7 years. Yeah, it's possible. Vessel will be what, 28. My brain is getting melted right now. Please, let's change the channel. Okay, thank you, that's better. The last statement, you know, what makes you happy, has been elusive actually. Anyone else? Shell, it's those things that, you know, like it goes two ways, right? Kind of like giving your attention to something, distracting yourself, gives you pleasure, right? You can give your attention to a chocolate or a movie or a TV show or etc., etc., right? And that's not a bad thing, again. But then there is your investment of your focus that you can also do, right? Where you realize by investing focus into something particular, you end up gaining more collective happiness. And one of the things that's coming to my mind is the fact that you make clothing, right? Like that is a lot of attention and focus that you have had to give to that over decades or years. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but so much time and effort, focus that you had to invest into learning that skill. And now when you do it, you find enjoyment out of that. So I see you as like a, you know, if this is something that serves you, right? Like a amazing designer in the future, right? Where you can make things for people individually, even, right? You can bring handcrafted clothing back to an age where almost everything is automated, kind of vibe. So, yeah, that's me from my perspective, which is so limited, looking into your life, seeing the things that you have invested intention and attention and focus into versus just the potential distraction of what your attention can give as well. Right. And I do think of this space as a balance of that. I do try to be mildly entertaining, sometimes at least. And also, we're consciously evolving, right? Realizing that the things that we're talking about does have some sort of long-term consequences, impact, right? These things affect our lives. This duality of the things that are known and the things that are unknown in each of our lives, right? And the fact that this conversation brought that up in you, right? Not knowing what makes you happy, right? And I feel like there's a bunch of fractals that's coming up at the same time. Having a child kind of like expects you to, at some level, put what makes you happy on the back burner because you're on take care of this person, you know, make sure they survive mode, right? So your happiness comes second. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong, doesn't mean that you're broken, echoing on yesterday's fractal. It just means that maybe your understanding of yourself might at this moment be incomplete, right? And we are growing. 1111, thank you, Shan. Yes, I feel like that's so the 1111 moment. Let's continue reading. I'm with you. No idea what makes me eternally happy. Again, from my limited perspective, seeing what you are willing to give your attention and focus to, investing into that skill, it's very clear to me what makes you happy, Doug. It's unfortunate that you have to have the whole fractal of trying to stay alive and selling these things and going to these marketplaces and kind of like stressing with whether or not the the city and the fights with the wife about finances and your child needing your attention and you're not being right. That's all of the bullshit that comes along with the dream. But it's very clear to me what you love doing, dude. You love working with nature, all right? Like, and that's very stoic of you as well. It's just about paying attention, right? All we have to do is actually pay attention to ourselves. We're like, aha, what do I show up for every day? What do I find myself showing up for? Even if I find myself tired sometimes. And discovering that part of yourself, know thyself, right, is a superpower. Hello, UD. Pippi is being a jelly belly. Why you be jelly belly? Hmm? Why are you so jelly? You're so jelly. Why are you so jelly, Pippi? Don't be so jelly belly. She's so freaking jealous. No, I'm not gonna look at her. She's like bumping my hand. It's like, give me attention in front of him. Little savage. I'm gonna give Yuri attention. There you go, Yuri. You deserve lovins too. Yeah. Yeah, you freaking silly dogger. Okay. No, 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 Swampy. You put the words back in your brain for 25 years. No idea what makes me eternally happy. Love is true, nonetheless, right? Loving nature, loving what you do, loving the experience of putting seeds in soil and then seeing an actual entity become alive in front of your eyes, right? And that entity starts producing food that people can eat and have smiles on their faces because of that, right? Like it's so clear, so simple. I understand perfectly, right? The fractal that you're showing up for. And that's why I believe you show up for this fractal as well. And all of us have that fractal in our lives, right? I see Sam's writing, wanting to create stories that people can become lost in, right? Sam with her flowers, her butterflies, and her little burbies, right? Shan with her medicine. Like, I'm literally wearing peace and calming on my neck today. And I had some of the drops in my water bottle, the stress away ones, not my actual remedy. I don't know if that's cheating. Like, you friends truly inspire me, and I can go into these fractals for each one of you. And the thing that hurts me the most is the fact that I can't see everything. Oh, yet. And there's a part of me that's so scared of that part of myself that wants to see everything. And I even noted it down the other day, where I wrote, wanting to understand everything leaves you appreciating nothing. And I wrote it as something to think about. I don't know if that's a true statement, right? Because I don't completely believe that. Because wanting to understand everything has, or at least um, the level, the ratio between knowing and not knowing has allowed me more fascination with the world, right? Rather than less. And I feel maybe that's the point, right? It has to remain incomplete. Coming back to yesterday's fractal, if I complete my knowledge of everything, then I'm gonna forget all over again. How long have we been doing this? Mercy, let me be loving. Right, I feel like that's the tipping point that we're reaching. Is that we are this collective effort to know more, to become more, right? To fight entropy as a system, as biology, try to reach immortality, essentially, right? And through that pursuit, maybe for the longest time, we had to kill one another to remain alive, right? And we're actually reaching a point, right? And I'm talking about like grand swaths of time, right? Like 100-year time frames. Like if you had to cut slices of reality into 100 years per slice, we're in 100 years right now where things are truly switching to we actually live longer by taking care of one another, right? We live longer by loving one another instead of killing one another. And that's a big step in our evolution, right? I know that. The change that's going to come along with that change, that is unknown to me. Very unknown to me. Like I'm not gonna, I know, I'm not even gonna give it power by saying it. I'm hopeful, actually. And you know why? You're like, what gives you hope? You, you give me hope. You give me hope. Why would you be here if not for hope, if not for love? Right? And I'm not even talking just about this stream. I'm talking about this time in reality as well. I do believe in willful incarnation, right? That you chose to be here. That you are, in fact, much more powerful than you give yourself credit for, right? But if you had access to all of the power that is you, you wouldn't get to be you, right? You would be God again, as you are. And you kind of got sick of being the old God, so you decided to be yourself instead, right? You decided to be Pippi, decided to be Yudi, all right? A Yudi Duty and a Pippi, so that you can be jealous of yourself for getting pets. It's absurd, I know. And yet, it's what makes this experience unknown, right? That it might be infinite, but this might be the most novel part of the infinity, which doesn't actually make any sense conceptually, right? And yet it does from from the expectation that you accept certain nomenclatures. Is nomenclature the right word? Hey Google, define nomenclature. Nomenclature, the devising or choosing of names for things, especially in scientific or other disciplines. It fits, but what I mean is if you accept yourself, or at least the consciousness, right, the part of you that experiences as God, that means the part of you that is God chose out of infinity, out of everything, to experience you, to experience you. All right, like there's everything that could ever be, ever in reality. And then God chooses you. Like, yes, I want to experience what it's like to be this. To have Pippi sitting on my lap, to give her little ear rubs. I'm tripping the fuck out. I'm sorry. I actually put my rings on today to have little pieces of earth that's a little bit heavier than I am, like my density is, so that I can stay grounded. Okay, happiness is a temporary experience. That experience may last several years or mere seconds. Chase your happiness and seek your fortune and ride the wave while it lasts. Live this life because you're here too, right? Like, I feel like that's so perfectly in tune with what we're saying as well. We think we know what makes us happy. We can't predict the future shell. Getting what we want comes from the monkey paw, and we always end up paying the price. Yeah, but it's a it's a weird fractal with discomfort, right? Because with discomfort, you pay the price right now, and then you get the dividends in the future. Where with pleasure, you get the reward right now, and then you pay the price later. right? And again, we have to have balance, right? Otherwise, we're ceaselessly living in this self-sacrificial state in the hope of some sort of better future, right? Where on the other side, we're ceaselessly living in a future sacrificial state in a hopes that just living in bliss in this moment is going to be enough, right? And then creating balance between that known unknown is the best way we can actually live a good life. And it's hard finding that balance. But you have to realize where your boundaries are, right? What are you willing to accept, kind of vibe? What are you willing to expect? That's a big one, right? Because you have to set certain expectations. And some expectations can be okay, right? If you expect it only of yourself. But I feel like it becomes very slippery. And I've noticed it with my family, especially hateful if you expect something of someone else, right? Like with like conscious eating, for example, right? I've tried to, get the family not to buy junk food, for example, and expecting that, right, doesn't help. It doesn't help anything. I'm zero, nothing. Like all you can do at that point is accept, right? But then also realizing that that acceptance comes with a certain sacrifice. The monkey's paw again, huh? Yes. Drink some water. Oh, love is true. We create our own happiness too. Happiness doesn't come from the outside world. There we go. Yes. Yes. Who needs tears? And for me, that happiness, I almost think of it as evidence, right? Happiness to me is evidence because you see certain things in life, right? For example, one of the things that make us human beings happy is seeing beautiful, empathetic acts. Surprise, surprise, right? If you see someone taking care of someone else, maybe, right? For instance, they even did a study on this, right? If someone drops their papers, oh, you're licking me, Peppy, please. Please don't stop licking me. That is, it feels so disgusting. She's like, thank you. She's forcing her tongue down against my leg while licking the underneath of her foot. Okay. If you see someone dropping a stack of papers and a person decides to bend down and help them pick up that stack of papers, and you then survey all three of those people in that fractal, the person who got helped felt good. The person who helped felt good. And the person who watched the helping also had that good feeling, happiness, right? And in my mind, that is evidence you're seeing. Like you're seeing actual evidence that there are good people in the world, and that makes you happy. And you can do that for yourself. You can show yourself that you're trying to be a good person, and that can make you happy, right? You can do things that a good person does, and you gather evidence for yourself being that good person you want to be. And it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. That word comes again. I love that one. You prophesize with your actions today who you are. It's kind of absurd, and like it's almost too much of a responsibility. Like we want to forget that, and then it comes back to the balance, right? Because realizing that that's the stakes, it becomes almost impossible to take the carrots, right, in the moment, because you're like, oh, for instance, there was this one fractal of uh, discomfort again, where there was a friend group that I felt didn't have the same values as me, right? And as a result of that, I felt the expectations of how much time I would like to give, because I'm very conscious of you become the average of the people you spend the most time with, right? So that's very important to me. That's very, very important to me. And I was asking myself that question of whether or not I would want to have more of those averages. And the answer was no. And it hurt me to admit that to myself, but I had to make that decision. And it was made kind of vaguely, right? Like not I don't want to be direct about something like that because I feel it could be hurtful. And there was, because of that lack of directness with that friend, a certain level of confusion, right? And Adam came back, from visiting them, and asked me and told me that she just wants to have a conversation, right? That she would like to understand, what's happening. And like there was this part of me that saw these two options right in front of myself. There is the version of myself where I don't go and see her and have this face-to-face conversation about boundaries, essentially, right? And then there is this version of me that actually did, actually went out there, actually had that uncomfortable conversation. And I asked myself, right, at the grand scheme of things, which version of myself would I rather be? The version of myself that gets to look back at that moment and say, yeah, I did the worst case scenario thing, right? The thing that in our minds has so many unknowns, yet we know it's going to be uncomfortable. We know that it's going to be uncomfortable. No matter what, it's going to be uncomfortable. But I don't know how uncomfortable or at what levels of uncomfortable, or if there's going to be screaming or if there's going to be flames being thrown, right? Like all of those unknowns. And yet still being willing to. And I feel like that was like a very, as some moments can be, pivotal moment for me of trying to gather evidence for who it is we want to be. And it is hard because especially if you gather a piece of evidence that you don't want to be, right? Because it goes both ways. But again, it's a ratio sometimes, and it's a weird one with that ratio because we didn't want to be 50% bad. Right? That's a lot of bad in a single day if you're going to be 50% bad. But it's also unreasonable for ourselves to expect ourselves to have a 100% score, always as well. Yeah, no, I never indulge in candy. That's just not something I can ever do. That's such a hard fractal for me to even conceptualize, right? And yet, I can beat myself up for not being able to. Of like straight up, kicking myself in a corner kind of vibe. I don't know anything. I'm learning though. I'm learning that it's gonna be a ride. It continues being a ride. Let me read some more comments. Mm, you want to be a gardener today? You want to be a fisherman today? You want to run naked through the fields? Just go do it. Yeah, yeah. Like, and the future I'm looking forward to is a future where people are taken care of enough that their basic needs are met, so that if they want to one day be a gardener and garden someone's garden, they can do that. And the next day they want to catch a fish to eat that night, they can do that. And the next day they want to run naked in a field with this, respect for people's privacy and their sanity and their eyes, right? Like you do it in the middle of the night. I've done this. I don't know if it's weird to say this, but I've dressed completely, vice versa. Undressed completely. I'm so high right now. And then I went outside and I stood underneath the moon. Naked human body standing on grass, moon above me. And there was a certain level of cleansing of like, ah, yes, I know nothing. I know so nothing. I know more than the previous versions of me that stood naked underneath the same moon has known, maybe. But again, in 100,000 years from now, they're gonna look back in like the same way I'm like, oh, moon, please, please, with all of your energies. And it's right there, like she's been staring over us this whole time. Can you see her? There she is, like smack dab right above me. I'm getting all of that energy still pulled up. Yeah, love is true. Scratchy, scratchy. UDB, all stoic like and looking over the land. I'm pretty sure he's like reached levels of Zen that I can't even fathom. And I just look at how still he is. Like that's straight up is, meditation. He'll move his head, for the he's like doing zazen, of course. But you can see it's mind awake, body asleep. Such a sweetie. Sorry for scaring you. I know you were in the zone, bro. So much. You scratch your face. There you go. What's happening right now? Okay, breweries are terribly loud place. Can't imagine burbs would be happy to be there. There's also the smell of barley, right? Grains. I can imagine the burbs being like, "What's that smell, dude? That smells nice." So you wanna drop some of that grains on the ground? Why isn't there a burb brewery? I mean, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands, right? Maybe there is a burb brewery, just not in this timeline, right? Maybe in future timelines where we start fractaling. I want to wear. I wish I had a cat cafe here. I would love a good day of kitty petting. Joe, like now I'm tripping out about a. Did you just say cat cafe? Yeah. So like maybe like a bird brewery where there's like a bunch of parrots and stuff, right? People drinking like sailors. Feels like it would be appropriate. I love that, Jovan. That's making me so happy. My guess would be the amount of surprises they would leave in their wake. Oh yeah, right. I don't imagine seeing a parrot poop in your beer is going to hit the spot kind of vibe, right? Like if you just see that white dollop fall inside your beer that you put down, like you put down and you, like, like you didn't, it's not negligence, right? You were just putting your beer down for a second. And then maybe you have extremely bad friends to flush this fractal out more. You don't see it because you're enthralled in conversation with your friends, but all of them see the bird poop falling in your beer, and then you you take this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You friends took me there. I love it though. I think it would still be. I mean, then you have that story, right? They have that story about being at the Bird Brewery, right? Don't get stories like that anywhere else. Open your heart to happiness, and happiness can be found anywhere you walk. Man, I love that. A nice beer garden full of beautiful birds. How beautiful! Yeah, right, Kelly. I mean, I think the beer garden. Yours is better, right? I was imagining sailor themed, right? You lead into the niche side of the future world, right? Have people dress up like actual sailors. Maybe they don't have to. They can just be the waiters can be sailors, you know. Can have like mild mechatronics moving it like it's a ship or something. Maybe you can have cannons pointing outside. I stop rain, please. Stop. That's not the fractal. Give me your ideas and I'll slightly alter it, please, to fit rhythm and rhyme and create melodies. Bro, you're the one that knows. I'll give you the stuff that come out of my mind, but I will not judge how you choose to raise it. That's such a fucking weird sentence. Right, plant seed in the ground, sprout little plant, give you plant, right? How you choose to trim it and how you choose to plant it in the soil and how you choose to take care of it, that's up to you, right? That's gonna make it your beautiful thing. I'm gonna go get a blanket because I'm cold. I'll see you again soon. I'm gonna Speedy Gonzalez. Love you, Dad. Na 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 na. But he is instantly hyped. Yeah. What's what we're doing? What are we doing? We're doing something cool. Yeah. Let's do something cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, what do we do? What we're gonna do? We're gonna dance. Okay, let's go sit down. Little monster. how are we this lucky to have creatures like that just live among us, right? Like seriously, how are we this lucky? What did we do to deserve so much bless? Love is true. Look, you either get the burbs who stay far away from the tables because they hear the sound of humans, or they get those flying pets that you can find in port cities and deal with that mess. Yeah, I saw those videos where a lady gave a white parrot. I don't know. It's white and it looked like a parrot, right? So I'm gonna call it the white parrot, like a piece of cracker. And like a few minutes later, that little homie let every other parrot know in the blocks, like, bruh, there's this super cool lady who's giving out crackers. Oh, tell your hobies. Bring everybody around, and like the whole place is like surrounded. Like I feel like I'd be underestimating if I say like at least 50 of them. It was absurd. Jovan cups with Liz. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they would want to be drinking the things as well. My brother and I are both on the no baby train. Choo choo. No babies for Joy. And Joy's bro, I'm guessing. Yeah. I feel again, you don't know what the future you wants kind of vibe, right? My daughter would be 16 when I turn 50. Well, yeah, that sounds about right. That is pretty trippy, huh? Look at Puppy. Little face in the corner. Why are you so cute? Why are you so cute, you cutie cutie? Wait, how much I kiss. Hey, Grace Hand. Such a blessing seeing your name, friend. So cool having you. How are y'all? I'm doing fine. I feel like today has been a good day for me to kind of remind myself of my own not knowing, right? And I feel it's appropriately so. How are you doing, friend? How's life been for you? A place like that sure would be perfect to take the in-laws you loathe, however. So I would have a market of sorts. I mean, I straight up think it would actually be pretty cool, right? Like you're gonna have to deal with like so many hoops, and I feel like that's gonna be the real nightmare. Like it isn't gonna be a conceptual nightmare, even though it will be a conceptual nightmare as well, but it's gonna be a logistical nightmare more more than anything, right? And like the approvals and health code kind of stuff, that's also gonna be like a whole other vibe. My please brain, why are you doing this to me, dude? It's like, yeah, we're considering this as a serious business proposition. A place like the Shore would be perfect to take the in-laws. Again, I pretty love that. I support you, Jovan. I believe in your dreams. There we go. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, if they can do it with cats, you can't do it with burps, right? And I feel technically the burps could actually be a little bit more chill. I'm just imagining like maybe like an EDM night and just all of these parrots being like, yeah, 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 yeah. Freaking parrots, they really do get into the vibes. Uh, Me too. I've always been no kids, no wife. I tried to domesticate myself this year. Alas, that did not really work. Guess I'm too feral for a wife and kids. It's a wild thing. Maybe, maybe the process of you growing to the full beast you're supposed to be is just incomplete, and you'll find yourself a beast woman to be with. I'm living the dream, riding the vibe, and loving my tribe. Thanks for believing love is true in the way I believe in you. Love that. Love you, Jovan. Exactly. I love that Jovan too. There's enough love to go around for the poppers too. Exactly. Tears, you and me both. Can't be a father of a high school kid when I'm in my 50s. Ah, bird poop. Be real though. There we go. Oh, a dookie bruise. No joke. I love how you actually went into the same fractal. I don't know if you did that before me, but I feel like we were slotted right into the same fractal. I have a lot of things I'd rather do than create more life and then have that life bitch at me for the next 20 years. Yeah, I mean, that could be the unknown way of saying it, right? But like you'll also lose out on the times. Like for instance, I just saw my dad inside and I told him I love you, right? Like those moments. Me, I wasn't bitching at him in that second, right? You get those small little wins as the parent as well. And it's all worth it for those small little wins, I believe. Javan, I actually dream of running an animal sanctuary slash bed and breakfast. Yes, where people can be with the animals and learn about them. I love that actually, right? Instead of just continually bringing animals in that are, you know, basically just props to save animals from the streets and then, them being the things that people can interact with. I vacillate, oscillate between wanting kids and not wanting kids. Only time will tell what is in store for me, though I'm also pretty feral. I mean, who needs tears? How about you hit Joe Schmo up? He's trying to mimic. No kiss. At Jovan's Sanctuary Cafe, rehabilitation has always been a dream, Kristen. I'll work with you. I can already see it. I mean, if not, why not? Right? Like with these type of things, I seriously can't imagine why not. Critters rehab, especially burps, especially the burps. I like the idea. Maybe not burps flying around and stealing your crepes, but maybe squirrels and rabbits. You think squirrels and rabbits won't steal your crepes? You got another thing coming, I've seen a squirrel steal a man's egg roll. A very fat squirrel. Straight up sitting in a tree with another man's egg roll, dude. Having a good time. One, dude. That squirrel is winning. Squirrels aren't ballsy as birds are. I mean, they can get any animal when they realize, humans are not that big of a threat, get pretty chillaxed, real quick. Uh, make the back patio a giant aviary, so bird dining is an option instead of all of the assault on our Sam's beer. Melt smoke, yeah, the smoke is definitely working. Joe, I'm doing just that. I'm challenging in demand. Them hands, I shed my ego. This is the way. Bunsies in the front, Burbsies in the back. Oh, it's Wednesday. It was. We did dance actually. I feel like my dancing was unknown, right? Like I didn't know whether or not I liked the music I was trying to dance to. I just typed in no into my playlist and I up next to all of the tracks that had no in the title or in the name. Right? It's not exactly the most mindful way of picking music, but I feel it still worked. This must become a thing. Bunsies in the front, burbs in the back. I mean, that I can actually see. You can have like technically the buns on the inside. They do kind of like stay floor level. I mean, people are gonna have to be mindful to not step on any bunnies, though. A choice to be upset and angry. Did I miss something? Must become a thing. Yesterday, my son had two difficult conversations with me that he initiated to complain about my behavior. Ouch. Good boy. Joe, is that a euphemism? I don't. I hope so. I'm not. Buns in the front, verbs in the back. Oh. Oh no, please, whatever you're. Why, Shell? Why did I have to think about it? I should have just. I have like two modes of consciousness, right? It's like one layer where it's like I'm gonna like say these things. I'm gonna give them the appropriate space, and then there's like some that crack through, and then as soon as they crack through, it's like there's some sort of super nutrients that just makes them spiral outward, and then instantly I was like, no, please. Oh, mercy, mercy, imagination. Shell, the stresses of life will always be present, and the option to lean into discomfort is always an option. I just try to remind myself that it's a choice to be happy, just that it's a choice to be upset and angry. It is hard though when it comes to your kids throwing shade, right? Even if it's shade that needs to be thrown, right? Sometimes plants can get scorched by the light if there's no shade, right? Kind of vibe. But yeah, love you, Shell. I'm happy that he's willing to talk to you, right? Like that level of trust is already a good sign that you're actually a good parent, that you can actually have these conversations. Okay, Mel, in your WhatsApp is a very quick freestyle of the chorus for the Psy Wave song. Psy Wave, yeah. Yeah. I'll give it a play actually before I end the stream. Yes, I did face my ego was driving my behavior. and I agreed with his request to quit an extracurricular math program. Oh, okay. He was doing the extracurricular math program, not you. That like took me for a spin for a second. I was just imagining him being like, "Mom, your extracurricular math program is really fucking with my mood." Yeah, totally not cool. I don't know how the younger ones talk right now. And it was like I was like, what? And then I realized, oh, he's the one who is suffering the extracurricular math. I'm so sorry. I'm so happy that he doesn't have to do that stuff anymore, at least. No, angry, just support for his decision making. Love is true. What the hell? That sounds like recreational fingernail bullying. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I was in the same boat as me. We should uh we choose how we view the experience. Sacrifice can also make us happy, just as birthdays can make us depressed. It's all about the lenses through which we choose to see. Adjusting our hearts will adjust our eyes. When you change the way you look at things, the things you will look at change, right? One of my favorite quotes. I think I have it like on a Psytrance track actually. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, look at that light. Illuminated. Thank you, Dad. He bought me that light for my birthday. Me turning 25, he gets to be the light in my life. Wow. Skapow. Back in the day, I had a roommate who would ask, "Do you want to do some math homework?" when he was inquiring if I wanted to get high with him. Yeah, that's the best kind of math. Adjusting, I shouldn't be saying stuff like this. I am obviously leaning into the joke. He just wanted to hang out with you, right? And some people don't know how to hang out with other people if they don't smoke something or drink something or eat something or watch a movie together, right? Like human interaction is still pretty awkward. So I don't blame him. I get it, right? I resonate with his poor soul. Adjusting our eyes lets us see what is truly valuable to us. Brother Joe Schmo, thank you, bro. Just the amount of love you've been sharing in chat. I feel such amount of resonance. Complete resonance, dude. He was a good guy. A Hoosier. I don't know what a Hoosier means or is, but I accept. Identify your intentions and identify the force behind those intentions. Is that force in alignment with what you consider your foundation or your center? That's where the initial adjustment takes place. Changing the foundation is the rawest form of adjustment, but sometimes it's also necessary for evolution to take place. Ever shifting world in which we will inevitably build many foundations. Sometimes we need to abandon the old structure and start a new one so that we receive more sunlight or more water. We adjust and we rebuild. We grow when we adjust and we rebuild. Constantly evolving if we choose to. Okay, I'm done. No, 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 you're not killing chat, Brother Bear. I'm feeling exactly what you're saying. Something that's coming up in me. It's a lesson that I absorbed recently of realizing that you could spend your whole life just building foundations, right? Like you can spend your whole life gathering the money you think you need, believing that okay, if I have, enough money, then everything else. And you keep okay, just a little bit more, okay, and then just a little bit more of laying this foundation, and then I'm gonna get the foundation really laid, and then I'm gonna really lay that foundation, and now I'm gonna really make sure that foundation is laid. Never actually building the house, never actually putting the first brick down of the real hard work, right? The the and then, right? If you have everything, right? We had the conversation a few days ago. If you have everything, all your needs are met, and then what are you going to do then, right? Because for the longest time we as humanity have been stuck in just surviving, right? Just surviving to the next season, to the next year, right? For a very long time knowing you're going to be alive next year wasn't that known, right? It was very much the unknown. If, oh, am I going to be alive by the end of the year? Oh, right? Now, most of us are like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be alive by the end of the year. Thank you very much. But when we were still kind of starving, that wasn't the reality, right? And again, we find ourselves at a tipping point, and we are at that tipping point already, right? Like we've reached it, not unanimously, right? Like there's a quote that I really like that goes, "The future is here, it's just not equally distributed," right? Like that's where we find ourselves right now. Like we're already living in the future. It's just not everywhere just yet. We're we're going to be expected to do a lot of building. A lot of building, unfortunately. But we're getting good at it at least, right? The foundation is training, at least, if anything. Sam, math standards in California is at caveman level. So I was very concerned he'd never see real pure math, which we use a lot every day, me and Mr. Shell. Yeah. If that is something he wants to do, right? I feel like that's the biggest thing. Maybe like Khan Academy, Khan Academy. Like if you want him to do like extra work, like sign him up for like Khan Academy or something. They have like AI that's attached to their problems at this point. You know, so like you actually have like a non-stop tutor that's there to kind of like help you through it. Why am I why am I promoting Khan Academy? I don't know. You know, more power to education, I guess. Jaju, I agree absolutely. As we come to understand more about this life, it's okay that some parts of the structure that brought us here become obsolete. Agreed. Shell, my dad was a mathematician and explained to us kids the absolute necessity of understanding complex mathematics, and we never understood how important it was until years later. Keep pushing. Yeah, I feel it's again that fractal of known versus unknown, right? And I'm just gonna say that. I feel like that just a statement is like, yeah, hey bro, hey, I'm so giddy to see Gravity Goo here with us. Check us, dude, check it. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that so nice? Them colors, like it goes up to purples, but yeah, the color science isn't perfect. I'm gonna have to switch it back again. One more. No punch up. There we go. Beautiful. No, you, dude. I'm just showing you the reflection that is you, bro. All right, like that's really the joke of showing you something like that, because even though all of you friends saw the exact same kind of pixels, right, of like things being displayed on your screen, every single one of you had a different experience. Yeah, the more beautiful it is, the more beautiful you are. There is no separation. What I know is that as I harness, I was harness harassed. Oh, please, mercy. Shut up. I'm good. I had a huge trauma dump yesterday. I'm so sorry. I feel like I might have been trauma dumping a little bit. I still managed to get stuff down and make bomb alkaline vegan tacos. Nice. Bless. I'm happy that you're cooking your own food as well, dear friend. What I know is that I was harassed about not understanding complex math, but I've never, not fucking once, used anything more complicated than percentages. It's just not necessary to know. Like, Sam, remember when I said known versus unknowns? Yeah, that's basically what the underlying subtext of what I was actually saying is, right? Because I'm in the same boat. I feel like there are different modes of being, right? If you want to be a scientist, right, and you want to contribute, meaningful work to our understanding of complex mathematics, then guess what? Yes, you're gonna have to understand complex mathematics. If that's not your goals, then it might not be as necessary to be known. Okay, that's fine. That's completely fine. Thanks for the encouragement. He and I agree. He will get through calc, but as he's scheduling. well, more always deserve. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm happy that you're a good mom and you'll probably be able to help him as well. Yeah, thanks for being the family I've always wanted. Love you, Grace Hand. Thank you for showing up to our little family meeting. It's not necessary for everyone or every job for sure. Exactly. In total, admiration of mathematicians. One, on a more personal level, applied mathematics makes more sense to me, but I know we need pure mathematics as well. Yeah, if that's relevant to your fractal, right? Agreed. Very, very helpful, right? But we are all different and we all contribute in different ways, and our skills will be appreciated even if we're not complex mathematicians. There are other people who want to be, right? It's their whole thing to be complex mathematicians. And good for them, right? I wouldn't want to take their glory. I completely agree with you. It's not a requirement to get through life. What I'm saying is it always creates so many shortcuts in life and it comes naturally. It serves your world well. I get that, right? Same thing for psychology. It's the same thing for physics. It's the same thing for understanding thyself, all right? All of those things apply to the way you see the rest of the world. Meditation, even, something simple like that. Playing with my light now, changing color temperatures, tripping out. I feel like it's actually affecting me. It's like the fact that I switch from sunlight to this light is like suddenly there's something weird. So my brain is like, didn't I just see the sun set? The fuck? why is there? Why is there? Why is the sun up again? What's happening right now? I'm feeling slow today, Grace. Low energy these days, but in a chill way. I'm happy to hear that. I'm in the same boat, Jovan. Very, very slow, right? But not upset about it. Almost like that's the way it's supposed to be. Please don't bump my water. Thank you, sweetie. Yes, mom. Mom is coming back. You're off work today, Nancy. You're usually off stream by this time. Blessings to still have her, right? But today it helps. Love is true. I treated myself to an oxygen bar thing for my birthday. It was eucalyptus flavored. Treat yourself sometimes if you can. I've always wanted to go to an oxygen bar, weirdly enough. So I'm happy that you got to experience that. That's really cool. Having good transmutive days. Life hits me hard, but I take the energy and give pure love back. The only way to beat the system when they want you to have animosity and hate, yet you turn it around. Leave them shocked with how loving you can be. All right, I feel like that's a cool motto to live by. Thank you, Grace, for bringing that into my mind. I've been using lavender oil on a felt bowl in my dryer. Eucalyptus is a good idea as well. Nice. Them natural flavors. I'm a big fan of lavender. Like we have a lavender bush that I actively walk to and scrunch up between my fingers. I'm sure your puppers loves you with. Love is true. Hoiser. Someone from Indiana. Even as a Hoiser, I don't see that word often, Nancy. Huh. I didn't know you had individual names for people that live in different states, actually. I mean, I know some of them, I guess, but I don't know if they're actually appropriate to say. Puppy, kan jij alsjeblieft voor mij rustig wees? Puppy, rustig voor mij, woefter. She's not gonna listen to me. I don't even know why I'm trying. Scream, scream, scream! Scream, scream, scream! Scream, scream! Who are these people that I see every day of my life? Every day. I saw them yesterday, and I saw them leave this morning, and now they're back. And then she realizes when they get out of the car that it's them, and then the barking stops. But like while they're coming close, she doesn't get she literally stays like hundreds of meters away from the cars. She's so terrified of like any stranger dangers. It really is absurd to me. Like I don't understand where she gets it. Right now, making sure the foundation is good, deciding what kinds of bricks I want to lay. Love is true. English, need a comma, it's fine. Exactly, we're witnessing the domino effect. Does melt. Thank you again, Gobbledygook, for being here with us. Want to make the education system the way it's supposed to be and let them spend most of their time with their families and nature. I feel education should be tailored to the individual, right? We need people that actually know thyself, right? We need people who actually are coming alive of what it is they're choosing to do, right? That's the fractal we need more of. We don't need more battery people, essentially. Gob day reflections of me. I have a hard time rationalizing that Putin is my reflection. Yeah, and yet, and yet it's possible, right? Like, sure, that part of us that grew up as a poor child, right, in Soviet Russia, and then got to see the suffering of not having enough money, and then got to hear about these government officials who were absolutely banking, and then got to become one of them, and then rose to power. And then, for the first time in his life, had so much power and had so much wealth that all of those perceived unknowns that you were suffering are now known to you. And now you want to hold on to that power, right? And you have to make some sort of display of power because the people around you no longer see you as an authority of power, right? And then that trips you out, keeps you up at night. And then you have to try and do something to try and grasp onto your, like, it makes perfect sense, right? I can see that reflection in me in an instant. I just I just wish he would, right? And I guess he probably does. He probably does. That's the worst part. Doesn't mean it's any easier to make the right choice. Sometimes we have committed, like the sunk cost fallacy, right? We've committed so much to who we think we are that we don't allow ourselves to change, even if that change would be a good thing. Rum dum dum dum. Dark summoned you and your big golden brain today. Grace the fact that you are concentrated on that fractal is a huge indicator that you are doing much more than you realize. I'm happy to hear about the positive intentions such as these. Love is true. Been summoned. I will work on melt more flower painting today. Yeah, more. My huskies love you all and just send absolute slobbery kisses. My Pippi is. Relax, relax, Pippi, relax. It's Shantai. Det är Shantai dag. Det är Shantai dag. Shantai dag. Jag vet what it is. Look those ears. I'm listening intently. Okay. Amount of hype. Sending your doggo's slobbery kisses right back. Thank you, Gabadoo. However, yes, I agree that I need to give myself more gratitude for the work that I'm doing for everyone. I've always been extremely selfless, need to take more time, give thanks to myself, and taking care. All right, it starts with you. Unfortunately, Grace, that if you're not an experience of happiness, it's gonna be hard for you to experience that love in turn. What is that? Is it a frog? Yeah, it's a frog. I saw Pippi going at something. It's a frog bouncing. Is it Pippi? Is it froggy baraggy? Is it baraggy? You want to see? Is it a frog? Is it a frog? Don't hurt the frog. You want to see how bright this thing goes? Fire on my razors. Suddenly, second sun. Hey, little froggy. Hey, little frog. What's that frog doing? Yeah? You seek a frog? Frog realized that you're only chasing it when it bounces, right? She's like, why aren't you bouncing? Okay. staring into the sun, be like, the Huskies have natural SPF 5000 coats. Literally. And their skin's never tan, so they're probably like super blonde under there. I thought oxygen bars only existed in high altitude sky resort places. Guess, even Indiana has it going for them right now. It is Indiana, right? I'm not butchering that. Mm, hopefully not. My question is, why are we spending money on oxygen bars and not spending money on planting trees, high oxygen producing plants? I feel like we're probably doing both, right? I feel like it's not as clear cut as, yeah, if you're spending money on this, there's no more money to spend on that, right? That's usually not how it works. Most of the money in the world is unspent. How about how about that? It's almost like most of the money in the world is either in some sort of stock or in some sort of bond or in some sort of investment profile or in some sort of pension or in some sort of bank account. That's where most of the money is, right? It's not a problem of people not spending money. It's more a problem of people not spending money, right? People more, right? And like, at what point is it enough, right? I feel like I wish we can just take away that need to have enough, right? To give people enough. How about that? How about we give people enough food, enough shelter, enough electricity to live day to day, right? Take that anxiety away from them. And then maybe we'll actually live beyond greed. Maybe, maybe, hopefully, I believe, right? I mean, we haven't tried it properly, right? If we have actually taken care of every single human being and it still doesn't work, then I'll be like, well, guess I'm stupid. I guess I was wrong. Guess taking care of people doesn't help, Fuck. But I'm not gonna say that unless I've tried, right? We have to at least go there first. No, 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 no. Joe, I'm definitely been implementing that into my life a lot more recently. I've spent my life in survival mode, so now I'm taking my time healing my self child. There we go. The inner child remains, right? Sure, you have grown up and become an adult body, but that child you used to be isn't God, right? It's not God. It remains inside of you. You've just added more layers to yourself at this point. Grace, try to remember to thank yourself and be gentle with yourself. We are all just a work in progress. And we all need a break from time to time. Touching on yesterday's topic, beautifully said. Tennessee is Hoiser. Florida. You see, no, that's where it starts. Where I'm like, I don't know if we can say that. Is that allowed to be said? Can you say shit like that? That's a word. Uh, New York is asshole. I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to say that one especially, but that one was comic enough that I know you wouldn't think I was being serious in saying it. We could reintroduce a voluntary rate and the associate paying the extra with wealth, affluence, and perceived betterness over other taxpayers. We would elite we would sell elitism to elitists. Yeah, that actually sounds like it could work. It's like, hell, your other elite homies are more elite than you because look, oh, they're like treating people well. Have you been treating people well? Like we make the measurement how many billions they have to how many billions they helped. All right. And if you have more helped billions, that's actually like the good measurement, that you actually want. But then it's going to be like a whole logistical nightmare again, where there's going to be a fractal of, large swaths of people being under some sort of conglomerate, and then you donating to that one conglomerate gives you some sort of distribution network of like certain. I'm already trying to figure out how to make sure the system can't be gamed. Joe, I concentrate so much important in huge fractals. I wonder how I'm still walking half the time. I mean, one step at a time kind of vibe, right? Even if you don't know anything, no love. Do things for love. That's the only way we guarantee more love, right? Even if it might be painful sometimes. Love isn't always sunshine and rainbows, though. But it shows you how much you can endure. Right? Are you willing to wait 10 years? That's a big one. I do believe I am. We can. I think everyone. There's exactly been my entire point growing up in school, getting so frustrated at the system that we're catering to and child's learning style. Like Grace Hand, I wish I could give you my high school experience. You know, like I was the epitome of a bad student, like very much so. Right? Like I remember Breakfast Club. Which character do you think my fractal is? Yeah, obviously. And I like seeing that. Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh no, oh no, is that what I look like? oh, oh no. But there was a good ending, right? Misfits can make a whole new hole. That was true. I like her belly suntan. Trigger used to sunbathe and get a tan on his doggy tum tum. The Huskies have natural FAS. So freaking cool. They're fine. They just don't go outside much. Yeah. It was storming here, but I said not today. And it's all cleared out now. Isn't storms good, Grace? Maybe you don't need water as much as we do. But if we see storms, we celebrate. Like it's such a blessing. Perhaps not the equal extreme. I've moved out so fast. I'm highly impressed. Moved out to a new place? I'm happy that you're transitioning quickly. You know, having that independence can be really nice as well. Husky, double coat, thermo regulates against heat the way that it does against cold. Yeah, has like air pockets, right? Air is not a very good medium for heat to transfer through technically. So they create their own. That's why I believe polar bears have like hollow hairs. They have like little air pockets inside of their hairs themselves as well. Thing that would be miserable for them. Can't stop destroying the earth, and then the earth will be abundant again. The earth can't be destroyed, Grace Hand. I feel like that's something we have to remind ourselves of as well. I do believe in climate change. I hope that's painfully clear. Right? I do believe that capitalism and the expected infinite exponential growth isn't realistic on a finite planet. I do agree with these things. But there is no destroying the earth. Right? The earth has been through a lot worse. Like exponentially worse. Like we've gotten wrecked. We've gotten so so wrecked. And we still find ourselves as human beings right now. And if there wasn't massive asteroids hitting the planet, you know, and engulfing the whole world, there wouldn't be us sitting here and having these conversations right now. So yeah, I think that's just a good thing to remind ourselves of, right? Like we don't know how things are gonna change. We do know that they will though. Love is true. Hey cat. No, I'm not going to Mozambique. I have work to do. And there's no reliable signal in Mozambique, unfortunately. Yeah, dear Viv, I was only teasing. My best friend growing up was from New York. They were an awesome family, so kind and loving. Do you still talk to them? My best friend growing up was from New York. They were an awesome family. I, if only you have those positive thoughts, I think it's good enough. Definitely humans, definitely be checking this place up. Yeah. It is a little bit disheartening to see sometimes. I was only teasing. My best friend growing up, love again. Pagan values are good values. Love is true. Much will be required of everyone who has been given much, and even more will be expected of those who have been entrusted with more. Yeah, this I agree with completely. I feel like that's the way it should be, right? It's like a level of almost like earned responsibility, right? If you have earned hundreds of billions of dollars, you have also earned the responsibility of helping, right? And I do believe a lot of the people who are billionaires right now do, technically, right? And I'm not going to say names. You can have the names for yourself. But if those names cease to exist on planet Earth, things would be drastically different. Maybe even worse, right? So again, known and unknown. We might know that things are like not equal right now, inequitable, but it is unknown how things will change. It is only known that they will. And it's going to be up to us to make sure that changes for the best. Vote local, right? If you don't like the people who represent you, change the people who represent you. Oh, puppy. Oh, she's shaking. Are you that cold? Oh, sweetie, sweetie. I'm walking here. Ayo, Majingana. I couldn't get the last one. I'm sorry, but I'm walking here. That one I got. That one is real. Oh, puppy, she's shaking. Are you so cold, sweetie, sweetie? Are you okay? You're gonna be fine. You're gonna warm up. There you go. Oh, do you see her shaking right now? Oh, shame. Oh, there you go. This blanket isn't that big, but I'm trying. Mm-mm-mm. For the people with gold in their heads, cat. There are actual people in this world who has gold in their heads, right? And their faces, I think, is a little bit more appropriate, but potentially in their heads eventually. How are you guys doing? Present. Like today's whole stream topic was about understanding that there is a balance between known and unknown. And technically, the balance is radically skewed in favor of the unknown, right? There is exponentially more unknown than there is known. And then there is a small set of known things, right? A very small set of known things. And being okay, right? Learning how to be okay with not knowing. Realizing that that is probably going to be the reality more often throughout your life than actually knowing. And if you can actually get good at just living in that not know mind, being satisfied, being grateful and content regardless, maybe then we'll get closer to the divine. Moment by moment, aren't you freezing your ass off? Cold is an illusion. All I have to do is pretend that I'm not cold, and then I stop being cold. No, I'm cold. That's the blanket's job, you know. Blanket be blanketing. Pippi is shaking. Like it's not that bad, Pippi. Come on, come on. It's like, let me see if it's gonna tell me the temperature. Yeah, it's like 21 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius. But okay, it's 15 degrees Celsius. It's not that cold. I've had worse. I shower cold these days, so the outside temperature is actually not that bad in comparison. Right? And feel like you're getting yourself skinned by ice. The outside is like kind of nice. Actually, it's like, oh, yeah, you have a coat, puppy. Why are you so cold? I'll catch you later. Love you, Grace Hand. It is time for us to pull a card. See what sacred geometry has to say today. Oh. I feel like it was a nice stream. I had a good time with you, friends. Let's see. What does the universe to say today? Your friends have any bets for colors? This one. Wait a minute. Who got gold in their head? I'm thinking gold teeth was the fractal that was supposed to be experienced. But I'm imagining eventually we'll have like chips in our brains, and maybe there will be some sort of advantage to making them or coating them in gold for conductivity's sake, right? So there will be people with gold in their brains as well, I guess. Wait a minute. Who's got gold in their head? Are we talking about gold teeth? Or like nuggets just rattling around inside the skull kind of gold? I mean, I do know that some people probably have small brain, but I don't think there's going to be enough room for gold nuggets in there. Got that? Yeah. Light green or light blue, and we have Kristen with a red. I mean, this card has a lot of red in it. It's technically primary color orange, but let me show you. There's a lot of red. Those hexagons. Are they hexagons? Pentagons? Pentagons are completely red lined. She has a red face with little red hairs coming out. Peles summons. Yeah, this is it's a pretty trippy card. I think this might be like a little bit of a sexual one even. Right? Receptivity. Peles summons. Yeah, Francine Hart. She's on a level. Let's see what she says. Card number 33. Regeneration, transcendence, and excellence. as the as the core meaning. Rainbow adorned crown. I love that line. Right? Like it's a rainbow coming around, serving as her crown. Lava. Her face is basically lava spewing out of the ground. Smoke is hair as well. That portal in the side of her spiraling inwards. Lava flowing down. Palms open. Francine. Regeneration and transcendence. Absolute excellence. The five-sided geometry of the pentagon informs this card and speaks of regeneration, transcendence, and excellence. These elements fuel invitation and directive of this powerful volcano goddess. She represents her summons as energy flowing from her rainbow-adorned crown. At the core of this call is a pentagonal spiral cosmos. This card summons you to recognize your personal potential and transcend obstacles to the expression of your life's purpose. Every life holds the potential of excellence and fulfillment. Sometimes we become caught up in life's flow and lose sight of dreams and vision in the process. It may be helpful to shift your attention to that of the observer so that you may gain a wider perspective of where you are today. Are you connected with your life's direction? Are you following your bliss? This may mark a time when you will make decisions that change the fundamental nature of the way you live. It could indicate a time of regenerating, of renewing faith, of finding your personal truth. Conversely, this card may help you realize that the truth that is most important to you is the very essence of the life you are already living. This is a summons to excellence and the renewal of your personal truth. Whew! Yeah, what a trip. That is a very appropriate card for today. I was literally thinking during stream how I'm not on the right path. I am not here to tell you whether or not you're on the right path or not. I can tell you, however, right, knowns and unknowns, that feeling that way and wanting to change, right, wanting to be on the right path, is already you getting closer to the right path than most have ever gotten. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be okay with the process. Are you chasing frogs again, Peppy? Peppy, that poor frog is getting terrorized. You have heard the line of a Jack Russell is the only animal that can annoy another to death. What's that? What's that? What do you see? Is that something in there? Yeah, it's probably a cricket that she saw go into its hole. She's like, no, come on here. Come out here, dude. Let me play with you. I just want to play. I just want to play. And she really just does want to play. But playtime stops when one of you dies. that's that's like, sometimes the vibe that she has. One of you dies or one of you leaves. Right? And sometimes the only way out is death. I'm so sorry. Because sometimes she'll like let me be, like she let me be for the last song, for example, today, dancing. And like I sometimes there's no stopping. You're on the right path, Tristan, right? Even if you feel like you're on the wrong path, feeling that way might be the best way to get to the right path. And be okay with it taking time, right? Like it's unreasonable for ourselves to expect to be able to course correct in a moment, right? Even though the decision that begins that, course correction happens in this moment, surely the time it takes to get on course that you actually want to be might take longer, right? How long did it take you to get on the wrong path? Be okay with it taking that long to get back on the right path, right? Sometimes it'll take us decades, but right, on which path would we rather be? Right, and it's gonna start now. That's the only place that there is for us at the end of the day. Uh, that light is back, blinking over your shoulder. Aliens? Is there aliens behind me? Show yourself, aliens! I have a little bit of my joint left. I'll share it with you. Fuck. They don't trust me yet. Come on, aliens. Stop spying on me. We can be friends. Why can't we be friends? Why? That's why, dude. It's because you're like that. No, stop. You can't say that though. You can't say stuff like that. You're gonna hurt my feelings. Oh please. I'm taking it personally. Why haven't you come and said hi yet? I do believe that they're listening. I do. I really do. I actually believe they're listening. They just don't want to answer right now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Speak to me, aliens, please. Come on. Come on. I should stop. I'll play to death. The ultimate game. The ultimate game for her. She keeps winning. She's she's like killed thousands of beings. Thousands have died by Pippi's hands. Pippi is a monster. Especially the rats, right? Like sometimes bugs. Yeah, bugs and rats. Those are the ones that usually get murdered. Lizards end up surviving usually. The frogs survive as well. She doesn't kill them. She usually leaves them because they taste gross. She doesn't like keeping like open biting them open over again. What does your compass tell you, Kristen? Dang, seeing an alien come smoke weed would be awesome. I would like literally, I would give anything. I would give everything. I would give them the clothes off of my back. I would sit naked if it meant I get to sit with aliens. Please, aliens, come on, dude. I'll be your representative. I'll hype you up. I'll be like the aliens. They love. Look. Show them the videos. Show them, and then it's like this cut together. Happy smiling alien families. Having picnics. happy happy alien families riding jet skis. Happy alien families parachute. It's like, yeah, these aliens look like they're having a good time, bro. What are they doing? Well, they figured out advanced technology and the ability to have global manufacturing And then they also figured out this technology that we call digital sentience. Oh, no, we call that AI. Oh yeah, yeah, that's like the same thing. And then digital sentience could, outprocess our collective, minds exponentially, especially with quantum computing. So yeah, we solved all of our problems, and finances was no longer necessary. And we see you like really struggling, Owens. Like we get it, we get it. She's been rough. You've been evolving for a long time. We've been watching. We've seen it all. We had to kill you a few times even. Yes. What? Why would you say that? Well, you're stepping out of line or something. Oh goodness. What have you done? Teaching. Teaching is what the answer is. Okay. I guess I guess that's as much as I'll get to know. Mm, beginning of stream. That bald men were getting killed in Mozambique because there was a rumor they had gold in their heads. Oh my goodness. That's actually horrifying. Join me. Why would you say that, John? We try to talk about it. Play to death, the ultimate game. Man, I would fucking love to smoke a bong with some visitors. Come hit my peace pipe, dudes. Yes, right. Like we'll tell them like this is. Please analyze it for yourself. You know, like it bonds to our endocannabinoid receptors. You might have them as well, right? They're pretty useful. They help. Might you might have some. Joy Vive, thank you for bringing closure to the train of thought for me. I was never going to so many strange places in my head. Is there gold in there in my head? Melty, if you want to talk to them, there are a few ways you gotta do first. Message me, dude. Oh, I know, unfortunately. Right? I'm already doing that stuff, bro. I'm already doing that stuff. It's just labor intensive, right? Like the focus you have to give. Unwavering focus. Listening to binaural beats, drawing lines, visualizing them, focusing on that point, almost like you're looking through a looking hole, cutting onto the other side, talking to other beings. I'm just a little bit sus. Like I'm like mildly skeptical about that stuff. Like how much of it is me making stuff up versus me actually talking to something, right? And like that boundary is really wonky for me. And I would rather just continue to pretend, right? I would rather just make a little bit of a comical kind of like esoteric slash satirical, take on it instead of actually doing it, right? Like after the experiences I've had of DMT, the last experience I properly had was one that there was very much this resolute understanding that yes, that space is accessible, but at the same time, you're here for a reason as yourself, right? And it is a process of evolving, obviously, but okay, I had this idea for a show, and I feel like it's starting to become almost weird as a concept for me. The way I experienced it was as if I was a person watching a show on YouTube. And this was episode 9 of the show that I clicked on. And it basically started off with this story of almost like a committee room where a bunch of people came together. And this dude was basically trying to argue that we should bring or we should cease technological innovation, essentially. Right? That was basically the gist of what they were communicating, or this person was communicating. And his reasoning for that is that there are people in that world that long for humanity, right? And that's what I would call the show eventually. And because they long for humanity, there is a certain fractal that they need to, you know, almost like ensure that that is a possibility, because it's gone so far beyond that there's like some sort of quantum realm thing happening where it's not only their future they're experiencing, but they're experiencing the simultaneous futures of multiple of different species, right? Like aliens are living on Earth at that point as well, and we think of our future, right? Okay, stream dropped for a second. We think of our present, right, and the technological progress we've made into our present, right, and we think about what our future is going to look like with the technology we're going to have, right, going forward. There could be aliens that are millions of years ahead of us, right, and their present moment is millions of times more advanced than ours, kind of vibe. And then kind of like bringing an equilibrium to that, where we find ourselves in the present with multiple different fractals of beings who have experienced multiple different millions of years of evolution, right? So in that world, beings are more powerful than any being should technically be. But with that level of technology, you can go into absurd realms of, experience. And this person who was arguing for this theory was basically denied by the entire space. So he took it to the extreme, and he basically turned himself into a signal jammer. Let's actually, I have a name for it. He turned himself into the static, right? Like, and that static was basically like a wave slash uh, torus field slash virus slash, like, imagine the molecules of a whole building being turned into computing units to make static in that experience. And in that experience, all other realities got cut out. And the only reality that remained was normal humanity as we're experiencing it right now, right? Being able to have a conversation with your family, and that was like one of the experiences that it showed me, where I was one of the people, like the character that I was watching was one of the people that was basically experiencing this world after the static, right? And the buildings are so big they have to fly into that building with spaceships, kind of vibe, where that whole static bomb kind of went off. And in that static like bomb, it's like basically desolate, and there are people that just have these interfaces where they go into that space, they go into the static, and then they just experience normal human lives on like an extreme fast loop, right? So there's still these extremely uber powerful beings that can live for thousands of years, but they isolate themselves into that space where they just experience these normal human lives. And one of the human lives that I was watching was a boy speaking a foreign language that I couldn't understand to his mom. But I could extract the meaning that he was basically just telling his mom how much he loves her and how much he appreciates, the mom that she is to him. And she was like, "Oh, my little boy," and she gave him a hug, right? And like the person that's like laying there experiencing this experience, and me seeing them laying there experiencing this experience that I was like, it was a lot. I started crying in the dream as the version of me that was watching this show. And I I think I waked up after that. I had to journal it down instantly. But it was, and it continues to be a weird fractal for me, right? Like the future is coming, and we happen to be one of the parts of humanity that people will eventually probably long for. Uh 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 uh. Bring closure to my head. One of the fringe theories is that aliens were here tens of thousands of years ago and raised humans to the level of sentience that they could mine gold for them. No, 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 no. I don't believe that. I don't actually believe that. I believe that technology sufficiently advanced enough is indistinguishable from magic, right? Like you can build better robots that can mine gold better than humans can. Surely, 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 right? And there are surely asteroids out there that have more gold concentration than mined ore will. Like I cannot. And that's too yikes for me. I can get behind the thousands of years of alien intervention into our species. That I can get there. I'm like, yeah, not that far of a stretch. I can believe it. But the for mining gold, that one I'm hard. I don't think it's for mining gold. I feel like there has to be other reason, right? It's not to eat us. We established that yesterday. It's not to get eat. No, it's not. I don't think it's to mine gold. I think maybe if anything, it's to graduate, right? To like graduate as a species, to become something new, right? To become a part of that next thing, right? As scary as it may be. Because weirdly enough, when I make that show, the way I want to like paint that picture is that longing for humanity isn't actually a good thing. And that was like the weird thing that I had to come to myself as well. I was like, wait a second, why do you want to call it longing for humanity, bro? It's like, are you longing okay, keep getting disconnected. It's supposed to be dystopian to long for humanity, right? It's like almost like you're missing the point of the progress that we're trying to make, right? And not for the sake of progress itself, but for the sake of the individual happiness, right? And realizing that there is a compound effect. Like if you as a being are willing to sacrifice the things that you realize is going to negatively affect your future offspring, that is you trying to maximize the happiness that they'll get to experience, right? And that's like a certain level of cognizance. Like there's a line in this book as well that goes, consider your actions 7 generations down the line, right? Like that's almost unfathomable to me, because it's the kids, it's my kids, it's his 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 kids, his kids. That's like thousands of years. Thinking thousands of years, how my actions right now will influence thousands of years worth of evolution. And again, then we're back in the knowns versus unknowns. You know what you're doing right now to some extent, right? But it's unknown how those choices are going to influence the world. And yet there's a part of you that knows. There's a part of you that does. And then again, balance. Coming back to that balance over and over again. Interdimensional. Don't they need spaceships? Nope. They don't need spaceships, right? If you are sufficiently advanced, you just make holes in space time. You're just like, no, right? I'm gonna rip a part of the 3-dimensional world here, opening up to a 4th-dimensional world where all vectors are attached to the same surface, and then I'm gonna walk through that surface into this space that I actually want to be in. Right? They could be watching us right now. They probably are. They probably are. So yeah, I feel like it's just a matter of time, you know. Like we're graduating slowly but surely. I believe the cruelty part. I'm sure the entire universe wants to give us the middle finger. No, I love you, universe. I love you. Love you, aliens too. I don't believe they want to give us the middle finger. I feel like they wanted to give us the middle finger, we would have gotten fucked a long time ago. I'm sorry for my crude words. Right? Like if they have the technology to see us and be here and influence our behavior over the last 10,000 years, then they have more than enough technology to make sure there's none of us, right? The real middle finger is like, yeah, how about no, all humanity, right? They could do that. If they could be here, right? Like people are tripping out like if there are aliens or not. I believe definitively that yes, there are, right? That the universe is too big for them not to be there, right? Then there's the Fermi paradox of like, if they're there, why can't we see them always, right? Like, where are they? And then for me, it's this mindset of they're probably there. It's probably just better for the current state of being to not know that. Little alien runs past me, right? The current state of being probably doesn't help to tell people that they're aliens, right? Like we have other things to worry about right now, kind of vibe. There are other critters that use ships, but they're just as dumb as we are, it seems. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The ones that use ships, they have better technology than we do, though. You know, that's the joke. Makes me think those guys are dumb like us. Wait a second, I think I missed the previous one. Totally believe that there are vessels and some of them travel in, but they always crash. Some of them crash, yeah. I mean, if they could get here, that's already a really impressive, feat of engineering as well. But there's pretty widespread disclosure that there are aliens on our planet. We'll be making stories up about it. The amount of disconnects we've had in stream today has been tripping me out as well. Stop it, aliens. Aliens, let me say the things I'm saying. Please, aliens. I'm not talking bad about it. I don't think it's bad. I don't think you're bad, aliens. I think if you were really bad, a lot worse, would have happened to us already. I believe we can cooperate. I believe it's gonna be weird, but I don't mind weird. I don't mind weird. It's weird that I have a little creature sitting on my lap right now, right? But it's normal because we live in a symbiosis at this point as well. Mm-mm-mm. The step, maybe they're dumb. The other ones, the walkers, they're the ones you want to talk to. They step out of doorways and say hey, and ask just a few things and usually move on without much to say. It's like being a little kid talking to a grown up, soft smiles and pats on the head. That's so wholesome, dude. Yeah. I think have met those as well. I usually ask them to heal me. They're so blessed. They're so kind. They're like, okay, you know, time is ethereal to them essentially. When you walk away with more questions than you come with, it's fun. No psychedelics needed. Nope, you just need meditation actually. I just gotta know the right phone number to dial the proper cadence, and frequency can unlock the great many doors. Skabop? Phone numbers? Yes, dude, you're gonna excite me. Don't threaten me with a good time. I have to zoot back into reality. Enjoy the extra long stream today with you. Love you. Thank you for joining us for so long. I'm gonna play some kalimba and then get this extra long stream ended. Finished. Actually, yeah. I have a call in like 5 minutes or something. 5 minutes after the stream's done. Connected. No, you. Love, love, love is true. 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Let's go. I feel like that might have been my favorite kalimba play sesh yet. Like all time favorite. Going in with that not know mind, not knowing what's gonna come next, and being able to experience that moment with your friends just makes me feel all the more connected. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Can I tell you, I'm always so thrilled. Work allowed me to stay on stream the whole time. That's never ever happened. Lucky day. On top of the fact that it's such a long stream today. So blessed. Thank you, Kristen, for joining us. Kulimba, pling plang. Being of the fantastic people brings a smile to my face. I thank you for being in my life, and we appreciate so much your presence and ours, dear Kristen. You're a good person. Echo. Manifest. Manifest. Receiving blessings. Is this Mel's longest stream? No, I think we've had like a proper 3 hour plus stream, right? It's gonna be 2 hours and 47 minutes very soon, though. So, have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I sincerely and wholeheartedly love you all so, super, immeasurably, immensely, staggeringly, stupendously, dearly. Melting all of you so, very wonderfully, incredibly, beautifully, fantastically, marvelously, miraculously, gorgeously, brilliant, magically divine friends. As we love you, dear Shan, so much. Thank you. Are the keyring, brother. Blessings. I am you. You are me. We are ourselves, humanity. How much we share? Surely unknown that we share this experience is the truth we hold on. Love is true. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you for reminding me, being a part of this loving experience the way that you are. It makes me feel secure. And dear water, thank you for hydrating me. Thank you, moonlight, for shining your light on her as well. Love is true. So many hugs and so many hearts. Love you. I'll see you again soon. I'm the alien. Maybe that's why they're not coming for me. They're like, bro, you're one of us, so you're sent there to be alien but incognito. If we come and visit you, that would be like us visiting our homie. Yo, why don't you visit your homie? Yo, come on. I love you, friend, so much. Thank you for humoring me, for spending these moments. I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Unblock me. You're not unblocked. I can see your message. You're not blocked. I can see you saying to me to unblock you. Uh, anyone who is still here, so much love. Draw out this loving moment like taffy, and then stick it to everything you encounter. Yes. That's like one of the worst things you can technically say to my brain, because I'm imagining the taffy getting stuck in the material of my blanket, in my hair, and in my scarf, and in my little microphone fluffs. Why? Why would you do that to me? Love is true. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.